Investigations into the fake Bhutanese refugee scam is coming to a closure. Apart from the main allegations, investigating police are preparing to recommend a few more entities to file relevant charges against the alleged individuals. Meanwhile, Nagarik Unmukti Party's Resham Chaudhary has accepted the Supreme Court's verdict of upholding his life imprisonment. His party has declared of piling further pressure on the government to release the report prepared by the Law Commission. Good evening, I am Prarambha Dahal. Let's begin with the main stories. Police investigating the fake Bhutanese refugee scam to recommend the Department of Money Laundering investigation to file cases against the alleged individuals. Election Commission prepares a draft of election law with provision to set fixed election dates and prohibiting individuals alleged of corruption to register their candidacies. Scientists say there is now a 66% chance that the planet will pass the 1.5 degrees Celsius global warming threshold between now and the year 2027. And Nepal pitted in Group A alongside Kuwait, Pakistan and defending champions India as the draw for the SAF Championship completes in New Delhi. The Office of the President has corresponded with the Parliament Secretariat confirming that the President will be available to announce the government's policies and programs for the next fiscal year as provisioned in the Constitution. Earlier, it was uncertain if the President would undertake the task because of health concerns. Speaker Devraj Ghimire has confirmed that the Parliament Secretariat received a letter from the President's office. The President's press advisor, Kiran Pokhrel, has said that the President's health condition had improved significantly. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Pushpa Dahal is scheduled to present answers to the lawmakers' questions at tomorrow's session of the House of Representatives. The Parliament Secretariat has said it has received 20 questions for the Prime Minister. The Premier is to respond to 15 of them tomorrow. Lawmakers have asked if the guilty in the Bhutanese refugee scam will be taken action against and if investigations will be carried out in the financial irregularities in the wide-body aircraft procurement and the Omni scam, among others. Questions have also been registered asking the Prime Minister during his India visit will raise the issue of border or not. Likewise, Madhya Center parties have raised their concerns on the citizenship bill. Nepali Congress have registered 4 questions for the Prime Minister, of which only 3 will be presented tomorrow. CPN-UML has also registered 3 questions. Maoist Center, Janata Samajwadi Party, Janamat, Rashtriya Prajatantra Party and CPN Unified Socialist have registered 1 question each. No cross questions are allowed during the session tomorrow. Now, police are preparing to recommend the Department of Money Laundering investigations to conduct investigation against individuals alleged of involvement in the fake Bhutanese refugee scam. The police have recommended the department to investigate and take actions against 14 individuals arrested so far, including former Deputy Prime Minister Top Bahadur Raimaji and former Minister for Home Affairs Balkrishna Khad. Should the department begin probe, properties of those alleged in the involvement and properties of their relatives will also be investigated. Nepal Police, that is investigating the fake refugee scam at an extended deadline, has recommended the Government Attorney's Office to file up to 4 charges against the individuals. So far, the police has arrested all those except Neeraj Rai, the son of former Security Advisor to Home Minister Indrajit Rai, and Pratik Thapa, the son of former Home Minister Ram Bahadur Thapa. Meanwhile, the Office of the Attorney General is still unclear about what actions must be taken against former Secretary Prem Rai and the then Home Minister Ram Bahadur Thapa. Based on the complaints filed by the victims, the perpetrators have collected at least 230 million rupees from them. The police have yet to take statement from former lawmaker Angtawa Sherpa, who has also been arrested in connection with the case. If Sherpa's statements are taken by tomorrow, the police can submit a report to the Office of the Attorney General by Friday. The Election Commission has prepared a draft Umbrella Act by specifying the date to hold the elections. The draft of the new act has been prepared by integrating 9 laws related to election and preparing 3 from them. The draft consists of provisions including barring individuals who have been alleged of corruption from filing their candidacy, provision of no vote in the ballot paper, withdrawal of public representatives by voters, and arrangement of voting by non-resident Nepalese from embassies, among others. The draft prepared by the Commission will be presented as a bill at the Parliament after it is approved by the Ministry for Law. The Election Commission has included new provisions in the draft, citing that the current laws related to elections are incomplete. As per the draft, individuals against whom complaint of corruption have been filed or if cases are under consideration at the court and those who have been proven guilty of corruption cannot file their candidacies. Prior to this, individuals that had been alleged of corruption had registered their candidacies and won the elections as well. Likewise, those who have committed federal forgery and those who have not paid tax cannot be a candidate for the elections. The draft includes a specification of exact date to hold the presidential election as well as the elections of all three tiers of the government. Meanwhile, provisions have been made to hold the presidential election 3 days prior to the end of the term of the incumbent president. Elections of the federal, provincial and local levels are to be held on the first Sunday 4 years 11 months after the final result of the previous elections. Collection of voters' name list, which was done by the election office, will now have to be done by the local level. Collection of details of non-resident Nepalese and provision of right to vote has also been included in the draft. Furthermore, 33% female candidates has been made mandatory in constituencies where direct election will be conducted. Currently, 33% female candidacy, including those from proportionate category, is mandatory in both the federal and provincial levels. Provisions are to be made for 33% female candidacy in local levels and individuals be able to register their candidacy for a maximum of 2 times from the proportionate category. The draft also includes provisions that will allow to jail individuals that are guilty of misconduct related to election, while the responsibility to administer the case will be granted to the Chief District Officer. In case of a higher jail term, the case will be handed over to the District Court. The Election Commission has been unable to take actions despite misconducts from a number of candidates due to incomplete laws related to the elections. Meanwhile, the Commission had been facing difficulties in conducting their tasks due to numerous insignificant laws related to election. The Commission hopes to address the dilemma that surfaces at times during elections if the draft is endorsed. It is now time for our segment Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Before we ask today's question, let us take a look at the result from yesterday's poll. Yesterday we asked, what should be done to financially strengthen the provinces? 42% voted for A, emphasis on industrialization, 46% voted for B, modernization of agriculture, and 12% voted for C, autonomy on resources. And now here is our today's question. What do you think is the reason behind the dispute within Nepali Congress regarding suspending their leader Balkrishna Khan? Your options are A, incapable leadership, B, result of intra-party faction, and C, ongoing investigation. The voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. The private sector has suggested the government to introduce policies and programs with a view to generate employment, increase production and uplift the deteriorating confidence of the private sector. The government has geared up to introduce the policies and programs that will be included in the budget of the upcoming fiscal year. The country has witnessed economic recession for the past 1 year amid high interest rate on loan and decrease of demand in the market. The private sector had taken it to the streets demanding regulation of interest rates and now have made a call for an investment-friendly environment. The private sector has been avoiding large investment as policies keep changing with the change in government and ministers. Therefore, business persons have demanded stable government policies. They have further demanded uniformity in policies, mobilization of capital for a stable market, addressing the issues of land policy for development of industries and curb load shedding in industrial areas, among others, to be included in the government policies and programs. In our Public Voice segment, today we have asked people in several provinces regarding the topics that must be included by the government in the budget for the upcoming fiscal year. Let us now take a look at what they had to say.
Public Voice.
गरिबी निवारणमा बढी प्राथमिकता दिनुपर्छ
पर्यटन र जडीबुटी जलस्रोत र उत्पादनमूलक क्षेत्रलाई चाहिँ विशेष कार्यक्रम बनाएर गयो भने
पढ्दै र काम गर्दै गर्ने त्यस्तो अवसर चाहिँ त्यस्ता कार्यक्रमहरू त्यस्ता प्रोग्रामहरुमा चाहिँ विद्यार्थीलाई इन्भल्भ गराइदियो भने चाहिँ त्यसले चाहिँ प्लस पोइन्ट हुन्थ्यो।
न्यूनतम आधारभूत आवश्यकता सम्बोधन हुने खालको बजेट नीति तथा कार्यक्रममा समावेश हुनुपर्छ।
शिक्षा क्षेत्र सुधार गर्नको लागि ठोस कार्यक्रम ल्याउनु पर्छ।
लङ टर्म भिजन बनाएर अहिले भइरहेको चाहिँ तपाईको चाहिँ अनगोइङ जुन डेभलपमेन्ट एक्टिभिटिजले चाहिँ प्रभाव पारिरहेको छ भने त्यसलाई टाइममै कन्ट्रोल गरेर
जनताहरूलाई निशुल्क स्वास्थ्यको पहुँचमा पुर्याउनु पर्छ।
पहिलो प्राथमिकताको रूपमा चाहिँ अर्थतन्त्रलाई नै दिनुपर्छ।
दलीय हिसाबले हैन समग्र नागरिकहरूलाई चाहिँ सम्मान हुने हिसाबले चाहिँ नीति तथा कार्यक्रम ल्याउनु पर्यो।
Scientists have predicted the Earth is likely to break a key temperature limit for the first time over the next few years. Now, researchers say there is now a chance of 66% the planet will pass the 1.5 degrees centigrade global warming threshold between now and the year 2027. The chances are rising due to emissions from human activities plus the El Niño weather event expected this summer. If the world passes the limit, scientists stretch the breach while worrying will likely be temporary. Hitting the threshold would mean the world is 1.5 degrees centigrade warmer than it was during the second half of the 19th century, before fossil fuel emissions from industrialization really began to ramp up. The 1.5 Celsius figure has become a symbol of global climate change negotiations. Countries agreed to pursue efforts to limit global temperature rises to 1.5 Celsius under the 2015 Paris Agreement. It is now time for the sports news.
Sports news.
Defending champions India and runners of Nepal are to clash at the group stage of the SAF Championship. Nepal were put in Group A alongside India, Kuwait and Pakistan as the draw was organized in India's New Delhi. Nepal is currently in the 174th position in the FIFA rankings. India is in the 101st, Kuwait 143rd and Pakistan in the 195th position. Group B has Bangladesh, Bhutan, Maldives and Lebanon. Top two teams from the groups will reach the semi-finals. This is the first time non-South Asian teams Kuwait and Lebanon are participating in the tournament as invitational teams. The teams have been invited to the tournament with the aim of raising its competitiveness. Sri Lanka, meanwhile, will not participate in the edition because of FIFA's ban. The upcoming 14th edition of SAF Championship will take place in Bangalore between the 21st of June to the 4th of July. Nepal has yet to lift the SAF Championship. In the previous edition, Nepal had reached the final but lost to India 3-0. India has won the tournament for a record 8 times. Maldives has won the SAF Championship twice, while Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Afghanistan have won once each. The All Nepal Football Association and FIFA had appointed Italian coach Vincenzo Alberto Anis to lead Nepal team at the SAF Championship. Up next is the weather update. That is all for the moment. Up next is the news in Nepali. Thank you for staying with us. Goodbye for now.